Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, with Stoller here. Last time we learned more about the past. Have a few theories. Let's see what happens next. Regarding not Ardbert and what else. Although we learned not of the Ascians, the insight we gained into the Echo made our trip worthwhile. Before we return to the Crystarium, however, there's a small matter I would attend to in Silverbow. Might I trouble you to come with me? Thank you. After we arrive, we should have a brief word with Runa. Farewell. Serenia, it's good to see you. You've arrived at the most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a plate for you. I'm sorry, Runa, but we haven't the... Please, I insist. It will take only a minute. My apologies, Serenia. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. But perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it's rather more a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Silverbow from top to bottom. If you'd be so kind as to go and fetch a broom from Ascian, we might finish before Runa is done cooking. A broom for Master Matoya? I cannot imagine why she would have need of such a thing, but here you are. It's old but sturdy and sure to suffice. I trust Ascian was able to find a broom for us. Well worn, good. This would prove difficult otherwise. But I must say, I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right, anyway, it's time I finished cleaning with the help of that broom. She awakens it like Matoya would, right? You didn't honestly think I'd do it the old-fashioned way? That broom is more than capable of sweeping by itself, however, it will be. Time to rise, to swish and sweep. A tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound, until no dust is to be found. In this one particular respect, I have no objections to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. In future, I may need you to remind me the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean chambers for said purpose. I would dearly miss this place. These people. Yeah. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. No, everything is fine, I assure you. Been a long day is all. Let's see. Stoller, thank goodness you're here. Alfino? I thought you were following Ardbert. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seems determined to reverse every ilm of Northrend in his quest to spread the truth of the warriors of light and the flood. And it seems news of your address at the Crystarium precedes him at every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen to what end he encourages people to become warriors of light themselves. But there's no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Well, we're all agreed that this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? We've commandeered corpses before and to no good end. I see no reason to think this time is any different, especially when it's that of a fallen warrior of light. I doubt we'll learn more if we remain a step behind. His next destination is in all likelihood Sliverbow. Alize, are you certain you should be here? If you're concerned about Halwick and the others, you needn't be. Their treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting. For all of us, the best thing I can do now is let them rest. So, I believe we're about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be warrior of light. Before visiting any towns or villages, Ardbert would hunt down and slay a nearby Sin Eater to learn the locals' trust. Our best chance of getting ahead of him is find one before he does. Thankfully, Thancred and Rena returned from the empty and have taken up the search. Reen believeth one may lurk beneath the boughs of woven oath. Then that is where we will start our search. Master Matoya. A warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. I look forward to it. I can sense no other Sin Eaters in the area. I hope this means Ardbert will be coming this way soon.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Issa friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the empty?
We were indeed, and we've made a certain amount of progress. So we thought we might see how the rest of the world was getting on. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry has come. seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it? But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks. Poor fellow. He will be sorely missed.
Not Ardbert. I thought you were supposed to be good at this.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense.
Ardbert.
After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive. Yes, it is I, Elizabeth. Through your time in Emet-Selk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will of the Convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Emet-Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Emet-Selk. How very unlike you to err so gravely. That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable, but I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves. There is no common ground to be found between you and I, nor do I require any. I have my duty.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least, and 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Emmett-Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, the Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Emmett-Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I don't know, it's born of Emmett-Selk's memories, not ours, so... And we went looking for Elidibus back then.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo reside.
If this ought to be learned, I want to know.
A woman after my own heart.
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
No, I think it would make sense to look at a Marot again. Because last time we went looking for Elidibus specifically, and Emmett-Selk was clearly going for realism in his illusion. Disdain or obfuscation. What is thy true design, emissary? Thancred told me what Ardbert did to him. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. I hate to leave him like that. God, I can't even let a man rest in peace. Am I the only one who sees the irony in Ardbert calling us puppets? Or that I have found the words to deny Elidibus? We are so much more than he believes us to be, and yet... Arthur knows the right of it. Let us pay a visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Tolsh Art first. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets. And the Ondo cups. I have sent for no finless ones. Perhaps you instead come seeking something of us? Ruins which your kind have yet to explore. I see. I know of one such place. Alas, under these circumstances, I'm afraid we can spare none to guide you there. And what circumstances are these? Rather than hunt for their own meals, the Bentos have pillaged our stores of Mineri liver. They must be replenished with haste. The Bentos, a particularly violent tribe of Ondo, if I recall. A band of bottom feeders. We all lost much in the flood, but while others worked to rebuild, they resort to thievery and murder. Revenge, they call it, and they prey upon our own kind. But do not be fooled. They care not who they harm. Would that we had the warriors to challenge them. It's not the first time they've stolen from us. But there's no resource more precious than liver. All must dedicate themselves to the hunt. Unless, of course, we were to reclaim the livers for you. It seems a fitting payment for vital information, is it not? Moreover, one could argue that by employing Bismarck to reach the depths, thereby driving back the waters, we are in part responsible for the deeds of those driven to desperate ends by the changing climes. One good turn, Dorvet. I thought you might say that. You've never been one to miss an opportunity to help. Reclaiming the stores it is, then. We would be grateful beyond words if you did. The Bentos have surely taken the livers back to the Flounder's floor. But be warned, there will be no shortage of guards waiting to spear intruders. Then we will have care not to draw their attention. Shall we? I have a long, long way. Nervous? Me? Not at all. It's a bit dark though, isn't it? Definitely not haunted though. Certainly not. They're not much of a threat one-on-one, but Torch Arth was right about the numbers. We fight them all, we'll be here for a fortnight. Fly. These aren't the livers, but they're certainly stolen from somewhere, unless wheat has started growing on the seafloor since last I checked. Thrusting your hand to each stack in turn, you find that all are filled with wheat down to the bottom. You also find that war wheat is unpleasantly pointy. Vegetables. Liver is not a vegetable. Fresh oranges. Orange. Winds scaled the wall with remarkable swiftness. Thank you taught her well. She's up there. And she found a shoe bill. I haven't forgotten why we're here, I swear. Only this bug hasn't taken its eyes off me since I found it. I think it might be lonely. The shoe bill is staring at Ween. Just staring. Right, I heard that from other players, that doing The Shadowbringer's quest, you can often find a shoe build just staring at you. And this time, it's Wien it's staring at. This squelching noise they make when prodded and the vile stench, you conclude that these bags are bursting with livers. Brilliant. Are those them? Perhaps you've deduced this already, but it seems the Bentos have been raiding Colusian storehouses as well as those of Yondo. Oranges, pumpkins, wheat. We can discuss this after we see the liver safely back to Tolsh Art. It wouldn't do to keep him in suspense. I know it sounds strange, but there really was a bird in those caves. I saw it. Did you happen to see a bird while you were in the caves? Serene insists that there was one, but how? To venture ashore and steal from the Colusians entaileth unconscionable risk. Yet there's no denying the truth of our eyes. So the Bentos have been stealing supplies from the Colusians. I'm glad you had better luck than I did. Spent the whole time fighting one Bentos after another. I have a feeling there's more to this. I'm relieved to see you unspeared. And here is liver. Our precious livers. I knew you would not fail. We also found all manners of foodstuff from Colusia on the Flounder's floor. Tell me, Torchart, does that seem odd to you? It is brazen, to be sure. It reminds me of rumors I've heard recently concerning a rash of thefts from Colusian warehouses. The perpetrators enter in the dead of night and are gone before anyone has realized what has happened. The Umuran army has been investigating, but thus far to no avail. Perhaps the reason they have struggled so is that their quarry is of the sea. The true question is what we mean to do about it. Much as I would like to proceed to the ruins without further delay, we cannot allow the Bentos to carry on as they are. If I may, I believe that the ruins are in fact key to the Bentos' plans. Is that so? These ruins, which lie deep within the illuminated land, are a recent discovery. We have seen signs that the Bentos are preparing to claim them with all haste. We could not fathom why, but in light of the knowledge that they have been stockpiling resources, it is clear that their queen will soon give birth. They require space to raise their young, and food for both queen and hatchlings to thrive. Well, I can hardly fault them for that. Under normal circumstances, perhaps, but conditions of a tempest are far from suitable for spawning. Its resources barely able to sustain our current population. There is only one reason they would disregard this. They seek to build an army, and with it take revenge upon the Finless. It is no surprise. They came to us not long ago seeking allies for the cause. We rebuffed them, of course. The suffering of others will not serve as balm to their own. Their queen, however, desires only bloodshed and will gladly send her children to die in our stead. If they are planning to wage war, that changes matters considerably. Indeed. I doubt this can be resolved without violence, but perhaps with a show of force we can convince him to see reason before the die is cast. I would rather not risk your people in the attempt. If we travel to the illuminated land, is there a way we might identify the ruins ourselves? Yes. Once you reach its depths, go deeper still. You will see a monstrous structure there upon the seafloor. That you have come to us now is the will of the Ancient Ones. They have guided you here, that you may drive out the usurpers, those who seek to use their magnificent creations with vile purpose. I have no doubt that they will show you the way forward. I'm afraid that the dead do not speak quite so clearly. Nevertheless, we shall try not to disappoint. If what we seek lies deeper still, beyond the Marot, I would call upon the assistance of another. Why do these problems always turn out to be so much more complex than they seem? Couldn't we have a simple, straightforward adventure for once? The good guy's good, the bad guy's bad. No drama or intrigue. It all ends with tea and tarts. The will of the ancients. If only it were so simple. It doesn't feel all that honorable or heroic to strike first. But if it leads to less bloodshed in the end? Is it wrong of me to be a bit excited? I know the circumstances are grave, but imagine what those ruins might hold. I would not care for what happened in Limsa to be repeated a world away. The Bentors know not what they do. Right, but I think it's a good place to end the episode. Or as good as I will find close by. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in the Ondo Enclave, where we wanted to do something. How to describe it? Though our course have been decided, to pursue it we must needs beseech the aid of a friend. I speak of Bismarck. Pray follow me to Sullen that we might seek an audience with him once more. From here, we press onward to the Isle of Ken. I myself shall proceed on foot. You've perfected your technique, then? Just so, the water will be as glass beneath my feet. Provided purchase, fragile yet true. Watch closely. Oh, I certainly shall. Forgive me, but would it not be easier to perfect your swimming technique? Ah, it would be a pity if you drowned, truly. Oh, hush, I'm sure it will be brilliant. He's done it. Incredible. Oh, Yanji. For the love of... Mine apologies. The technique required was poorest of focus, and mine was lacking. To perfect this magic, I went so far as to deal with a Fuaf, and with their aid, my efforts finally met with success, albeit on a single occasion. I know not why I cannot repeat it. I thought I saw you waver a bit toward the end there. Perhaps you're simply tired? Thancred? It was nothing to worry about, only a dizzy spell. Though it may not be wise to go for another swing just now. Thankfully we have an alternative. And wonderful little invention, I'm certain you agree. A boat. Do you think those two are really alright? But you should take a moment to rest. What sort of dealings with a Fuaf, I wonder? Before you make some quip about age catching up with me, you'd be out of breath too if you had to drag Orianji out of the sea without so much as a warm-up. I must admit, I'd been keen to attempt walking on water myself, though I know what Alice will say. I'll stick to swimming, thank you very much. I will petition Bismarck's aid on our behalf. Let's pray my diplomacy proveth more effective than mine experimental magics.
You speak with the voice of a king, little neighbors. I will not deny you. As before, if you seek what sleeps beneath the sea, I will be your guide.
Thy kindness is as boundless as the depths, serene one.
Before we depart, however, I would ask a favor. After our last flight, I found many creatures clinging to me. I am itchy. Remove them, and I will take you below.
With all haste shall it be done. So did he agree? I agreed to a favor in kind. Regrettably, 'tis not one I possess the power to grant. Bismarck has asked us to cleanse his underbelly of barnacles. Alas, one must needs dive beneath the surface to do so. Even I could master the power to walk upon it, it would avail me not. Oh, for heaven's sake, is that all, Serenia? And I am more than capable of that. With a Kojin's blessing, we'll have done it in moments. And better than standing here and listening to this nonsense. I take the right, you the left. Now we go. Pretty aggressive suddenly. I'm in your debt. I think Thancred's embarrassed. Yes, I'm perfectly well recovered, thank you. It's a minor miracle we accomplished anything at all, wouldn't you say? None of us is much of a match for Alice when she's like this. Aside from me, Stoller, perhaps. a good deal of prying from various angles, you dislodged the barnacle. Well, that was disgusting. Probably not required to attend to any other matters of personal hygiene. Thine efforts are most sincerely appreciated. I will inform Bismarck that we may depart without further delay.
Much, much better. Thank you, little neighbors. I remember, a long time ago, another did this favor for me. After the flood, when I chose this spot for my slumber, he came and made a home on my back. Ken was his name. When I grew itchy, I stirred, but he was not afraid. No, he asked me what was wrong. I told him of the creatures clinging to my belly, and he dove into the water. He helped me. He was my friend. He told me he wished to live in peace, away from his people and their wars. This I understood. I treasured our time together, brief though it was. Brief though it always is. But I remember him, and how he laughed when we flew. I remember when he slept. I too slept that day, and many days since. But the light faded and the darkness returns. Ken sleeps, but in memory he laughs, and together we fly. And I am here. I am awake. It feels good to speak and be heard again. A shame others cannot understand me.
If thou art willing to learn, I would gladly teach thee the language of man.
Thank you, little friend, but it's time I grant you your request. But first I will take flight to cleanse my body and prepare. The dive will be swift, and I would not have you struck by errant debris.
So this island was named for a man. How easily the past is forgotten. He passed not even 100 years ago, yet the truth has slipped from history, like so many grains of sand. Might I have some explanation to what he just said, or shall we all stand about making vague and mysterious allusions? While he maketh ready to deliver us unto our destination, Bismarck bade us wait for him on the shore of Colusia. That's all. I fear as though there's more to it. Indeed there was, but it has no bearing to the task at hand. I would be glad to share the rest with you anon. Fine, later then. If Bismarck requires time to prepare, might I suggest a short respite, for Urianji and Thancred in particular? I require no such thing. I'm a picture of her perfect health. Mine was but a momentary lapse in concentration. Worry not on my account. You mustn't push yourself so. Please rest. For me? Oh, all right, if you insist. You too, Serenia. You've been running yourself ragged. Yes, ma'am. In that case, I leave the old man in your care. The rest of us will meet you at the split hull anon. Word of advice? Never let it show. When she realizes she struck a nerve, she remembers. By the gods, she remembers. In any case, if we must be made to rest, I know a place in Salem that's better for it than most. Come with me. With age cometh wisdom, so I pray. May as well have a seat. Wouldn't want our elderly niece to give out. To hear her speak, you'd think I'm on my deathbed. With a 12, I wish that girl wouldn't worry so much. Thy countenance belies the words, Master Thancred. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Let the records show that I am here under protest. Oh, I can't say I mind with you. And if the abundance of anglers is any indication, even an amateur might land an impressive catch. Shall we try our hands at it? Help! Someone! Quickly! It's Nightshade. We was attacked on the road from Crystarium and barely escaped with me life. I suppose we might have predicted this. You mean you help for free? Thank you. If I recall correctly, Nightshade is the local band of outlaws. I doubt they'll trouble us over much, no more than they already have by interrupting our relaxation at any rate. These two have met us well in hand by the looks of it. So we're too late for once. I'll not forget his kindness. May we meet again. Hey, June. Is that you, milady? Don't tell me you've deprived that poor fellow of the honor of being rescued by the Warrior of Darkness. You had no idea you were in the area. Fancy us meeting again so soon, eh? Why, I believe I even recognize your companion. Ah yes, from the infirmary. You had a message for the Crystal Exarch, did you not? Good to see you back on your feet, and on patrol no less. Oh, it's nothing as official as all that. Strictly speaking, we are off-duty, but as we had a free moment, we thought we'd give a few of our less traveled roads a look. The guard doesn't have enough hands on patrol to patrol them regularly, you see. That's admirable. There are few so devoted to their duty in Lakeland and beyond. Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and neither of us are satisfied with just seeing out our service. It feels like we could be doing more, like we should be doing more. It's all about having the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through. The excitable one. I remember you. Sorry, milady. Got a bit overexcited the other day. Couldn't get my words out. The name is Vonard, milady. I'm with a guard, and I don't just want to protect Lakeland. I want to protect the lot. Just like the Warriors of Light. Sadly, our duties prevent us from venturing too far from our own little corner of Northrend. What we'd really like to do is travel, to better ourselves, to go where the need is greatest. But everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? For now, if we can stop Nightshade from robbing the odd fisherman, that's what we'll do. Well, well. Future heroes of a first, do you think? They want not for spirit, but it's a pity they drew inspiration from so clouded a wellspring. Yet it availeth us not to fret in idleness. We must needs press on if we are to bring Elizabeth's schemes to light. It pains me to think that men with such pure intent are being made to serve Ascians, however directly. But they are right. The people need heroes. Though our respite was cut short, I dare say we are all eager to avail ourselves of such knowledge as the ruins may hold. Aye, I doubt further contemplation of Elizabeth's machinations will be conducive to relaxation. We may as well make this for Split Hull now. So, how much of a respite did you actually enjoy? Half a moment? We rested, didn't we, Svenja? What's keeping Bismarck? Surely it doesn't take this long to shake off a few loose stones. Perhaps we ought to have clarified what Bismarck means by a short while. To his mind, our whole lives might be as a blink of an eye. You arrived rather early. Are you certain you did as you were told? All are present. Now we need but await Bismarck's coming. I hear him. 'Tis time. Pray make ready. Amnanesis Anida. Ah. Another dungeon, I believe. Okay. No. If anything here. Alright. But we don't do this episode. But maybe next. Until next time anyway. I'm Mace and don't get lost.